All right, we are live. Let's just make sure. So last time we had a storm come through and we never actually got live. We had to record and send out. So if you are in here, just make sure in the chat function, put your name and your information and let me know that you can hear me okay. So we want to make sure that you can hear us and get going. Hey, Ariel, so you can hear us okay? Hopefully so. So let's get started tonight. We're with College Virtual Connections, and I have three fantastic presenters from Florida Atlantic University, Florida Gulf Coast University, and the University of North Florida. I'm from University of Northern Iowa is where my undergrad's from. So I always want to say Northern Florida, but that's inaccurate. So North Florida. And I'm going to introduce you guys all in just 1 second. Awesome. Great. You can hear me. So before we get started, I just want to say a thank you real quick to all of our partners. This is part of the Future Makers Coalition, which is our local college access network that really tries to increase degrees and certificates for our Southwest Florida students. College Unmazed, Sylvan Learning, Southwest Florida Parent and Child, the Lee County School District, Earn to Learn, and Girls Going Places are some of our partners in presenting this tonight. I'm Dr. Amanda Stirk. I am the author of College Unmazed and wrote the workbook on college admissions for our Florida students. So let's introduce our people. And sorry, Chelsea, your name got cut off there at the top. We got Chelsea from Florida Atlantic University.
Hi.
Hello. We have Alex Martinson from FGCU locally. And Erin, is it Duggan?
Yes, Duggan.
From the University of North Florida, who are all going to be presenting on college admissions and kind of talk to us tonight. So as I mentioned, if you have not yet told us your name and what grade you're in, because I think it's really important for our presenters just to kind of know, do we have a bunch of seniors? Do we have freshmen, sophomores, juniors? What do we have? And if you can put what high school, that also helps too, because we were just talking about some of our collegiate programs and our local programs. So do make sure that you're using that Q&A. It looks like a bunch of you are already typing your names. So throughout the evening, go ahead and throw your questions in there. And during the Q&A at the end of the session, we'll ask all of our participants to answer those questions. Awesome. Thank you guys. Seeing a little bit of everybody. Perfect. All right. So I'm going to pass it off to Chelsea at FAU. The floor is yours. Go ahead.
All right. So hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Chelsea Morrison. I am the admissions counselor for the Southwest Florida area for FAU. I've seen some of the students that I've already interacted with previously. So I'm really excited to just kind of be on here today to chat with you all about FAU. So some of this information may be cut off just because of my photo, but we're gonna navigate with it. So to give you some more information about FAU, we have about 30,000 students that are enrolled at our university every year, and we are sprawled across 6 different campuses. The 2 campuses that our freshmen can start at are our Boca Raton campus, which is about a 2-hour drive from Fort Myers. If you look at a map, Boca Raton and Fort Myers are directly parallel to each other on opposite coasts. So it's a 2-hour drive. And then also our Jupiter campus, which is where our Wilkes Honors College is hosted. That's about 40 minutes north of campus. So that is a 2-hour and 40-minute drive, depending upon which way you choose to drive to get to Jupiter. We offer over 170 different degree programs. So that ranges from biology to political science to business, nursing, engineering, health science, journalism and communications, marketing, you name it, we probably got it. The only thing we don't have is agriculture. We are considered the most diverse public university in the state of Florida. And we're not just talking about racial diversity, we're talking about socioeconomic diversity, cultural diversity. And those are things that make us very unique because it is very reflective of our South Florida culture, where between Palm Beach, Broward, and Miami-Dade, which is the Tri-County area of South Florida, it just really encompasses what our community does look like, where people from all different walks of life really come together and really can serve each other in various different ways. Now, depending upon your major, you will fall within a certain college within the university. So for example, because my picture is kind of cutting off at the top, the College of Arts and Letters, that encompasses our architecture major, our political science, our journalism, communications type of majors. Business is pretty self-explanatory. Another major that college is cut off is our College of Social Work and Criminal Justice. So there's a lot of variety of different things. If you are a student that is interested in pursuing medical school, we do have a medical school here at FAU that you can apply for post your bachelor's degree. And to talk a little bit just about the Wilkes Honors College, like I said, that is located on a separate campus in Jupiter, Florida. It is designed for more of our high achieving students who want to, can everybody hear me? I'm just kind of monitoring the chat and I'm just trying to make sure that everybody can hear me. Am I frozen? Am I good?
It looks like it's frozen. Let me do something real quick here, Chelsea, and see if we can get it figured out.
Uh-oh.
So just hold on 1 second. All right, so I think we should be up and running back again. Let me just get back to the presentation here. I just had to restart the room.
Okay.
Sorry about that, everybody. Let's try that in the chat. There's everybody working now. We're going to bring everybody back. We'll get back to your slide here.
I'm going to keep my camera off.
Yay. All right. That sounds good. Okay. Yeah. There you go.
All right. Wonderful. Sorry about that, guys. So for the purpose, I'm going to keep my camera off just to make sure that we can just make sure we can hear everything and all this other stuff. So talking about our Wilkes Honors College, like I said, it's designed to be a smaller campus. We have about 500 students that enroll at the Honors College. It really is just designed to foster more of a smaller environment for students who are more high achieving and just want that smaller, intimate feel as opposed to the large university. You can take up to 20% of your courses at the main campus if you do attend the Honors College. It really is designed for students who have a strong interest in going to graduate school in the future, because in order to graduate from the Honors College, you do have to complete an honors thesis. So a thesis is just basically a really large paper that does get published, and it's great to add to your resume. Class sizes are rather small at the Honors College. Average class size is about 15 students. It is a top ranked. Oh no, is my.
I know. I don't know what's going on here.
I'm not sure. Give me a second.
Everything's.
My internet is working.
Mine is too. Oh goodness. Oh goodness. I'm gonna put oh goodness. All right. No. Well, I am gonna try to reboot one more time, and if we can't go, what we'll do is continue on live. And then we'll just send out the recording later. So just wait 1 second.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on.
Oh no.
Oh, then somebody else can hear us just fine.
Okay. All right. So wonderful. That was basically my spiel on the Honors College. So just so that way I don't take up anybody else's time. I don't want to conflict with any of my other colleagues. So talking a little bit about student life. So student life is a very, very important part of your college experience. It was something that was very critical to me when I was an undergraduate student. When I was a freshman in college, I was very shy. I was very nervous. I didn't really like talking to people. I just didn't know how to react. So getting involved on campus really just helped me come out of my comfort zone. It helped me really get active on campus and get to know different people. And it also helped me find my passion, which was in education. So So that's kind of how I landed here. So here at FAU, we have a wide variety of different clubs and organizations for you to get involved in. So some of the more popular ones are student government, Greek life, intramural sports, or going out to any of our Division I football games or basketball games, soccer, swimming and diving, things like that. If you're a Harry Potter nerd like I am, you can get involved in the Quidditch club. I was a Hogwarts dropout, not really. I didn't really get my invitation, but you can play Quidditch, just no magic involved. And we take a lot of trips to Harry Potter World in Orlando. There's also just a lot of other things. If you're an engineering major, you can get involved in the robotics or our Owls racing. Just a lot of their Glee. We have a theater troupe and an a cappella group. So if you want to get your pitch perfect on, you can, Valentina. So that's an option. But yeah, there's a lot of different opportunities. You can find a lot of our clubs and organizations on the heart of campus, which is our University Breezeway. That's actually the main walkway on campus where you can stop at the food court, whether it's at Starbucks, Wendy's, Pizza Hut, past the Chick-fil-A and the library, and then go all the way down to the most popular place on campus, which is Campus Rec. So there's a lot of different areas where you will find different clubs and organizations just hanging out to tell you about all the various events that are going on campus, and also community-related events that we'll have going on in the area. So to kind of get down to the boogie and the most important part of why you're here, how do you get to FAU? So it's a 3-step process. So the first step is completing the application. Now you have 2 options as to how you can complete the application, whether it's on our website or through the Common App, because we are a Common App school. On the Common App, we do have a separate application for the Wilkes Honors College. So if you have a strong preference to go to the Honors College, fill out that application. There is a $30 application fee unless you qualify for an SAT, ACT, or NACAC fee waiver. If you apply through the Common App, your high school guidance counselor can approve that for you. If you apply through our native application on our website, you will have to email that, I have the hiccups. You'll have to email that fee waiver in. The second step is doing your self-reported academic record, an SSAR. There are multiple schools here in the state of Florida that do participate in the SAR, so you can complete one SAR for multiple universities. And you'll input all of your grades from 9th grade to what you have in progress your senior year into the SAR. You'll indicate whether it was honors, AP, IB, ACE, or dual enrollment. And then the third and the final step is submitting your test scores. Yes, we know this is a point of contention for a lot of seniors as of right now, and you will hear this or you have heard this. All 12 universities, public universities here in Florida, are still mandated by the Board of Governors to have test scores on file. So you do still need to submit SAT or ACT scores. You can complete steps 1 and steps 2, and I would encourage you to complete steps 1 and steps 2. So that way I can at least contact you if there's any changes, or I can always follow up with you to see if you've been able to safely test. So once all 3 steps are done, your file will be deemed complete, and then we can review your application. We do not require essays or letters of recommendation for the admissions process, just your grades and your test scores. And we are rolling admissions, so once all 3 steps are done, that's when we begin reviewing your application. This is our average student profile. It is a weighted, recalculated GPA. So it's weighted, again, if you are taking honors, ACE, AP, IB, or dual enrollment, we weight your GPA, but it is recalculated that we are primarily looking at your core courses. So electives like PE or band are not included in your admissions review. SAT and ACT are super scored. So for any of you all who have the opportunity to safely test more than once, we encourage you to do so. You do not need to do the essay portion of the SAT or the ACT. Yes, there's a difference between summer and fall admissions because fall is more academically competitive. So you do want to keep that in mind if you are interested in attending FAU. To kind of go into how it works with FAU and what we're looking for. What you see on the left-hand side of the screen is typically what you need in order to graduate from high school. But what you see on the right-hand side, if there are any students who are interested in any of our science-related majors like biology, psychology, health science, things like that, engineering, architecture, or nursing, those do have very strong math requirements because of the academic rigor of the programs and timeliness to graduate. So you do want to keep this in mind as students who are interested in going into those fields, that we do look for majors like that. I just typically tell students, you want to at minimum get to pre-calculus. That will be your best friend. Just keep that in mind. This is also listed on our website. So if you need to reference this later, it's on the website. And just even talking about how we review students, it is term specific. So we tell students to always apply for the term that they want. But if we are unable to admit them for that term based off of major, GPA, or test scores, we automatically consider them for other semesters or pathway programs that we offer. The pathway programs are designed to ensure academic success as a full-time student once they attend either summer, fall, and then full-time in the spring. And you still get access to financial aid, so that will not be a cause of concern with that. These are some very important deadlines for the admissions application. Our scholarship deadline is December 1st. So you do want to try to get in all of your stuff by December 1st to be considered. Once you have been accepted into the university, you will automatically be considered for our merit-based scholarships as long as you have applied and submitted your stuff by the December 1st deadline. Okay. We do have other scholarships through our Office of Financial Aid. Those scholarships do require a separate application, and those typically will open up in mid to late January, and you have to have your FAFSA on file and be accepted to be considered for those and apply for those scholarships. That was basically what I was going to talk about here on this screen. And this is my contact information. So this is my contact information. So feel free to take a picture of this. If you need to contact me, that email is the preferable way. Also, do follow us on social media. I am also one of these social media coordinators. So I would love for you to follow us on social media. I do my best to try to provide some really good content for you all. The last thing that I will share for you all today, I'm going to share my screen for a quick moment, Dr. Stirk, but I did want to show you all that we do have an event coming up this Saturday. It is our second Explore FAU Day. So this is the website that, where you can go and register. It's fau.edu/virtual-explore. You can just even go to the website or contact me if you do want to check that out. So just feel free to join us this Saturday. I will be there. So feel free to check us out. That's really it. That's my presentation. Yeah. And so I'm going to take it on back to Dr. Stirk here. Thank you all so much for listening. Kaya, I'm going to get to your question. Merit-based scholarships, they're through our Office of Financial Aid. I don't have access to see those scholarships. All I can tell you is to apply by December 1st, submit your stuff. And once you're admitted, you'll be automatically considered. They have specific names, but they've changed them this year. So I can't tell you the exact names. They haven't told us yet. So thanks, Dr. Stirk.
Awesome. That was great. I know I'm always so excited to hear from FAU. And we were talking before everyone got on just how great it is that, it's another great university on the other coast. So if you're joining us from Southwest Florida, it's kind of nice to look at the other coast. So we are going to next introduce Erin from the University of North Florida. So Erin, if you can get on your stuff. Awesome. Are you ready?
Hello. I'm ready.
All right.
Okay.
All right, go for it.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to turn my video on for the introduction, and I'm going to copy Chelsea and turn it off because I don't want to cover anything. But my name is Erin Duggan. I'm an admissions coordinator from the University of North Florida. I did graduate from UNF in December of 2019. Didn't want to leave UNF yet, so I applied to this office and then got this job where I help freshmen or applying students with their application and admissions process. So learning as an Osprey, UNF is a medium-sized school. We have about 17,000 students total. 15,000 of those are undergraduate students. So that's our primary focus here. A lot of these undergraduate students get research opportunities that are typically saved for graduate students at other colleges. The average class size is about 30 students, and the student to faculty ratio is 19:1. I know some of the smallest classes that I had only 7 other kids in them, so I was able to develop a really deep relationship with them as well as with my professors. And then even with my bigger classes, those 25 to 30 students, the professor knew who I was, would say hi to me on campus. And if I wasn't in class for whatever reason, they would look at my seat that I always sat in and see me not there. So some of the first college I'm going to talk about each college pretty briefly, is our College of Health. Our College of Health, we have many strong partnerships with healthcare providers throughout Jacksonville. So that's Mayo Clinic, which has 3 hospitals throughout the country. St. Vincent's, Baptist Health, and Brooks Rehabilitation Center, which our College of Health was named after. This college does have consistently high pass rates on licensing exams. So for nursing students at UNF, the first time pass rate for their NCLEX exam, which is the registered nurse, or to become a registered nurse, is a 92%, whereas the Florida average is a 76%. And then for nutrition and dietetic students, their first time pass rate is a 96%. So then these are all the programs in the College of Health. I'm not going to read through all of them because we're limited on time, but I'm sure you guys can read it yourself. So here they are, and I'll move on to the next college. So we also have the College of Business, and this has many hands-on transformational opportunities on and off campus. We have several learning laboratories for a few of the colleges as well. So students are able to use software and programs that they'll be using once they graduate on campus and during their time as a student. We do have an Osprey Financial Group. They were given $500,000 at the beginning of the group, all student run with a faculty advisor. They invested, they did business things that I'm not sure what they were entirely. I wasn't a business major, but now they have over $1 million. And then with the School of Business, it's really easy to dual major without adding any additional time onto your degree plan, because many of the classes apply to more than one thing. So for things like accounting and finance, you can major in both of those things. And then for international business, something that students find really interesting is that it's actually a requirement to study abroad with this major. All majors have that option, but it is required to graduate for this one. So we also have the College of Arts and Sciences, which is our most diverse college. There's a whole bunch of majors in it. I never read through all of them just because there are so many, but there are many research opportunities that lead to job placement in this college. So I'll show you the full list here. As you can see, a bunch of majors. Our most popular are communication, criminal justice, and psychology. And then all of these majors that you see on the screen have those research opportunities on campus and off campus. And we don't have law or medicine, but we have pre-law and pre-med tracks. So with those, you choose a major, but then you're focused on law or medicine, and it really prepares you for law school and med school once you do graduate. We also have the College of Computing, Engineering, and Construction. Excuse me, sorry. And these students have many also hands-on opportunities. They have learning laboratories on and off campus. There were over 400 paid internships from 2019 to 2020. Most students reported that the average internship payment was $14 to $18. However, one very, very lucky student that I'm quite jealous of was making $40 an hour at his internship. So that's before a degree, before graduating, making that much money. And these are at places like Mercedes-Benz, Johnson & Johnson, and CSX. And then engineering students also work with the physical therapy students on something called the Adaptive Toy Project. So they create, design, and make toys for children with disabilities, and then they get to see them use those toys. These are the programs we have in that college. We have 4 different types of engineering. We have computer and information sciences and building construction. And my favorite part about the building construction major is that at graduation, you will receive a hard hat instead of a cap. So the next college is the College of Education. I'm biased towards that one. I did graduate from it. Students get a lot of time in the classroom from their very first semester at UNF. Their last semester, they are entirely in the classrooms teaching, and they get up to 1,500 hours before they even graduate. There are a lot of study abroad opportunities for these students as well in any major. We're also 40 minutes away from St. Augustine, where they have the Florida School for the Deaf and Blind. So there's a large deaf community for those ASL English interpreting students or deaf education students, as well as sport management is also in this college, and that's like the business side of managing sports. So that's what you're interested in. We also have an honors college, and with that, you'll have a major in one of the previous colleges and then be a part of this one as well. So you'll have additional scholarships available, additional transformational learning opportunities, and study abroad opportunities. But these classes are capped at 20 students, so they're a little bit smaller. They're very discussion based and have a lot of critical thinking. And then you also take additional courses in leadership. So now that I've talked about the academic part, I'll talk about living and getting involved on campus at UNF. So we do have over 200 clubs and organizations, some professional organizations like that business group, and then we have social clubs as well. We have 28 Greek fraternities and sororities, and at the beginning of each semester, we do have a club fair, and a lot of the clubs come out and they table. You can walk around, meet people, sign up, get some information. My first club fair, I definitely signed up for like 30. I didn't join anywhere near that, but I got a lot of information and met a lot of cool people that way. And then you can also start your own club if you go through all 200 and don't see any you like. So I know a group of students that did the Try New Foods Club, and they genuinely just try new foods and talk about it together. So it's not very limited on what your group could be. We do have a gym on campus. It is 3 floors. On the first floor, we have group fitness classes, so hip hop, Zumba, spin, yoga, things like that. And that schedule is posted at the beginning of each semester. We also, on the first floor and part of the second floor, we have a 38-foot rock wall. I think all students should try the rock wall. It is a lot of fun. Our rock wall staff is cool. And then I'm not an avid rock climber, so I don't know the proper terminology, but they change the route, the part that you grab onto as you climb rocks. They change that each semester, so no one figures it out, and it becomes super easy for them. So I like to keep everyone on their toes. On the second floor, we have over 200 pieces of fitness equipment and a free weight section, as well as physical trainers that will walk around and help you use that equipment or lift weights if you need someone to spot you. And on the third floor, there is a 1/8 mile track, which does mean you have to run around it 8 times for it to equal a mile, which I learned the hard way. We have Eco Adventures as well, which is over 3 miles of hiking trails on campus, as well as a lake in the center. We have gear that you can check out. So we have kayaks, paddle boards, and canoes that you can take on or off campus. And we also have surfboards, tents, sleeping pads, hammocks, things for the outdoors. We have a high ropes and a low ropes course that you can go to with those organizations that you join in those clubs or a group of friends. And a couple nights a semester, we do have a zip line night. So you zip line across the lake onto an island in the center. We have 19 Division I sports on campus. All games are free for students to attend. And we also have club and intramural sports. So you can play against other universities with those club sports or other UNF students with those intramural sports. We have 4 residence hall options for first time at college students. However, the lazy river that you see here and the pool on the other side are open to all students. We have 2 other pools on campus, as well as a 4th one currently being built behind the gym. Living learning communities, I'm jealous of. My freshman year, there was only 3, and now there are so many more. And what this is everyone that lives on your floor will have the same major or interest as you. So right away, you get to meet students that are going to be taking the same classes, doing the same tests, walking to the same class with you, so you can meet them and get a jump start on that. So now that I've told you some of the great things about UNF, you're interested in becoming an Osprey yourself, and I can tell you exactly how to do that. The first thing that we will need, if we don't already have one, is an application. And that can either be through the UNF online application or through Common App, which opened in August. We'll need a $30 application fee or fee waiver. We'll need your transcripts through the SSAR or electronically from your guidance department, and your SAT or ACT test scores. And so the 2021 applications are open and live, and the applications for summer and fall of 2022 open on June 1st. So these are mid-ranges for students for the fall and the summer. We do admit students with lower and higher scores than what you see here. So the GPA for the fall, 3.5 to 4.4, ACT 24 to 27, and SAT 1180 to 1300. And then the summer ranges as well, 3.0 to 3.4, 20 to 23 for ACT, and 1050 to 1170 for SAT. We do also recalculate your GPA. We take the classes that you see here and we use those for your admissions GPA. They are weighted. If you have a grade or C or higher in AP, IB, dual enrollment, or ACE classes, that's 1 additional point. And any honors classes, that's 0.5 points. A lot of questions that I get are, what if I took 4 sciences or 4 social sciences? We will take the best grades that you got, And then for foreign language, if you took more than 2 years, we'll take your most sequential courses. And if you took 4 years of the same language, we'll do the best classes as well, the best grades, sorry. So here are our deadlines. Our application deadline for summer is May 3rd, and for fall 2021 is July 1st. But we also have a material deadline. So once you submit your application, we recommend you do it before the deadline, just in case anything goes wrong. Sometimes students don't click submit or there's a technical issue. And so as soon as you submit that, you give more time to submit your materials. So this is the last day that we can accept your application fee, your transcripts, and your test scores. And so for summer, that is on June 1st. And then for the fall term, that's on July 26th. And the classes begin for summer on June 21st and for fall on August 16th. For scholarships, we have 2 that are automatic. It doesn't mean you automatically get it, unfortunately, but it does mean as soon as you submit your application, you're considered for it. So both are up to $24,000. The presidential one is determined by your grades and test scores, and the commitment scholarship is determined by your class rank. But this one is need-based, so you have to have your FAFSA on file to be considered. And we encourage everyone to apply for FAFSA as it is free. And there are additional scholarships and grants available by separate applications on the UNF scholarship website. And that does conclude my presentation. You can email me if you have any questions that you don't happen to ask during the Q&A. My email's on the top of the screen. If you want to email UNF, but not me, that's okay. I won't take it personally. You can email admissions@UNF. You can follow us on social media. And if you want to schedule a virtual appointment with an admissions coordinator, you can do that using the link at the bottom of the screen. And then real quick, sorry, Ariel, I'll answer. It's always June 1st is when the application's open for the next year. So for 2022, oh, sorry, that would be in November. My bad, I misread your question, but that is the end of my presentation.
That was great. I don't know about all of you, but I can't wait to go back to college, right? I need to, quit going to college, but I love that fitness center. That looks amazing. Is that relatively new, Erin?
I think it was built a couple years, I want to say like maybe it was renovated. It was, they added onto it. I don't know what, but I think that was in like 2013 or 2012. I think they added to it, maybe a little later.
Fantastic. Yeah. Well, I think that rock climbing wall looks awesome. All right. So thank you so much, Erin. You got your contact information. So Alex, are you ready?
I am, yes.
All right.
Thank you.
I'll give it over to you guys.
Perfect. I'm going to do a screen share here instead of slides, but I just want to show the FGCU website. So again, thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it. My name is Alex Martinson. I've been here with Florida Gulf Coast University almost 4 years now. I'm originally a transplant from Wisconsin. Moved down here with my wife about 4 years ago, and FGCU has been a fantastic place for us. It's been a home for me. So I really do believe in myself as an advocate for the university, and really just I think in terms of what separates us, we have some fantastic institutions here that we've my colleagues have been able to share with you guys, and FGCU is no different. So really, in terms of picking a university, and that college experience for yourself, I encourage you to see everything in person. If you can, tour. We're very excited to have opened up our tours just recently at Florida Gulf Coast, so you can actually come and hop on the tour bus and have a guided tour with your tour guide, or even on a golf cart, with someone like myself as an admissions counselor. So I'd absolutely encourage you to come to campus if you have not already. I know many of you are here locally in Southwest Florida. I am actually your admissions counselor. So I know my colleagues would say this as well, but our jobs do not exist without students like yourselves. So it's very important, that we are communicating with you, that we're helping you through this process. Sometimes admissions can be, a little bit convoluted, and I want to make sure that if there's anything that I can do to help you, that we're doing that. So again, thanks for joining us tonight. I'm on fgcu.edu. This is our main homepage, and there's some really good resources on here. Rather than going through the slides, I just kind of want to show you how to navigate our website so that you can explore things kind of on your own. But up here, you have everything from about FGCU, academics, admissions and aid, which is my expertise, student life, et cetera, right? The apply button's up here as well. We'll talk about that in just a moment. As I scroll down, I would say, just to give you kind of the elevator pitch, right, the overview of FGCU, we're around 15,000 students for enrollment, although we are a Division I state university. So something that we're kind of unique in that sense, that we have an average class size of 33 students, right? And some of the other institutions are similar to that. And I think it's really important that, as a student, you have that opportunity to speak with your professor, get to know them, they get to know you. I didn't graduate from Florida Gulf Coast University, but I did graduate from a university of similar size. And for me, I loved being able to, know my professors, know my classmates. I still stay in touch with a lot of them. I knew what they wanted to do after they graduated. I knew some of their families. So it was just a very wholesome experience for me as an undergraduate student to be a part of small class sizes. And I think that's something that FGCU boasts. We are top 2 in the state of Florida for job employment, for employment of our graduates, which again, that's a part of your investment, investing into a university education and hoping that pays off, not only in terms of, you want it to be fun. You of course want to learn things and build your expertise, as a young professional, but you also want it to pay off in the form of a career, hopefully in a field that you are interested in studying. And I think that's something that FGCU does as well as anybody in the state of Florida. So again, that's a little bit about our campus. We're located on 800 acres of wetland preserve. So we are not located in the city. We are not like right next to downtown Fort Myers or anything like that. Many of you probably know, but that wetland preserve, 400 acres of it, if you visited campus, 400 acres can never be developed. And so, we are environmentally sustainable. We that conservation of the environment is very important to us. So what you see on campus is kind of what you get. I mean, it's a very exciting place to be a part of. Even though we continue to grow, we still want to be kind of that niche, that 15,000 mark for enrollment. We're not trying to be 30, 40, 50, 60,000 students. We like the size that we are, and we're really starting to kind of cultivate what we have there. So that's a little bit about FGCU. The website, again, there's some really great resources here. Personally, I think residence life at FGCU is unbelievable. Again, I did not go there. I went to a different university, and we had dorms, right? We did not have residence halls. Here we call them residence halls at FGCU, and we've been ranked top 10 in the United States, amongst the thousands of universities. And to be in the top 10, we're very excited and proud of that. This is South Village, where incoming freshmen live. Upperclassmen live on North Lake Village, where the beach is, on Miramar Lake right here. Out of the 4,700 and I think 48 beds on campus, essentially all of them are taken throughout the year, especially now in the pandemic. FGCU's residence life is very similar to an apartment. So you live on campus, you can actually close the door to your own bedroom inside your residence halls. They're beautiful, state-of-the-art recreation facility. It was just built last year. It's awesome. I get to use it myself as a staff member. Students are using it all the time. It's very cool. So that's a little bit about the residence life. Down here, the tour gallery is open as well, where you can see different videos. And you guys, it just pays to listen to a student. I can tell you about the programs until I'm blue in the face, but ultimately, hearing from your peers, it's going to have a more of an impact probably than I would. But all of our programs are represented, or at least our colleges are represented here, that are under the umbrella of FGCU. And everything from our programs to student life, a little bit on, here's our recreation facility there. So take your time to navigate that tour gallery. Again, that was linked on the main homepage towards the bottom. So another way for you to kind of see campus in all its glory. I do want to touch on how to explore the majors, which this is the Explore Majors button here. And it does take you to all of our programs, and they're kind of broken down into categories, right? So everything from business to engineering to education, health and human services, arts and sciences, etc. So I am just going to use pre-med as an example. I'm going to click on health, pre-med, biology. It's going to take me to this page where there's all these degrees listed. And as you guys know, there's bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, doctoral degrees at FGCU. I'm going to click on the biology bachelor's of science page just as an example to kind of show you. Every one of our majors at FGCU has a dedicated homepage. And so this is a place where you can actually see, what the job market or the career outlook looks like for these majors. You can see internships that might be available. You can connect with an advisor or faculty and staff. You guys, FGCU is a place where you can reach out. If you want to speak with a professor, if you want to set up a meeting or a virtual meeting, you can do that kind of stuff here. I think our personal touch at our campus is what really makes us special. But the last resource in the programs that I want to show you are these 4-year plans to graduation. Like I mentioned, let's pretend I'm a pre-professional or a pre-med student. I'm going to click on this pre-professional curriculum map, and it's going to show all of the classes that you would be expected to take throughout your 4 years. So this is your academic plan right here, you guys. You can see it breaks it down semester by semester, shows you all of the courses with credit counts, prerequisites, etc. And you can absolutely see what you'd be expected to take in order to graduate in 4 years. And as you kind of work your way down here through the years, you're going to get into more major specific coursework, right? You can see even there's research projects and things like that available to undergraduate students, which is an incredible resource. So all of our programs are going to have this. I have seen, I think when I started here, we had maybe 55 or 57 majors at FGCU. Now I see we're up to 63. We try to, I think FGCU is finely tuned to the job market, particularly here in the state of Florida. And we build majors into our curriculum based on how to get our students into those jobs and into those thriving careers. I think that's something that we do very well. So that's a little bit about our programs. Again, you can explore that right here on that button. How do you apply to FGCU? This is where you can click the apply button, and it funnels you through the process of admissions and aid, right? Financial aid is here as well, which you guys, we do have some fantastic scholarships. If I don't get to it here by the end of my couple minutes, I want to make sure that at least we're able to talk about that in the Q&A, because FGCU has merit award. We have third-party outside scholarships. We have foundation scholarships that are institutional. We accept Bright Futures, Florida Prepaid, etc. And I will tell you, just as a tidbit here for the financial aid side of things, 52% of students at FGCU graduate debt-free. Something that we are very proud of, and I can tell you as someone who was able, fortunate enough to graduate debt-free from my university experience, it allows you to set yourself up for financial success as a young adult. So again, I can't speak to the value that FGCU is, but again, on the admissions and aid page, I'm going to scroll down to this undergraduate admissions button, click on that, and it just funnels me through the process. So I'm going to click on, this will be my first time attending college, as many of you will as incoming freshmen. We need a few things: the application and the fee waiver, or excuse me, the application and fee. It's a $30 application fee, or your waiver, of course. You can submit that as well. There's 2 ways to apply, whether it's on our website, fgcu.edu, or the Common App. Either way, you're going to create your Future Eagle account right here. Very simple. Once you create this is your prospective student portal. You can log in here, see your status, or see if your materials have been received. If I'm new to this and I create my Future Eagle account, I'm just going to click on undergraduate student, first name, last name, where you went to high school, some personal information, when you plan to enroll at FGCU, etc. Right? Enter a password, create the account. This is what allows us to merge now your Future account with your Common App, so that we're able to merge those 2 things. Again, you're going to create this either way. If you choose to apply on FGCU's website, then you'll just go directly through your Eagle account to start your application. If you did Common App, you'll submit Common App and then create your Future Eagle account, so we can merge those 2 things. Secondly, after the application, we need either the SAR or your transcripts, whichever works for you. The SAR being the self-reported student academic record. Either one will work for us. And then lastly, as my colleagues here have mentioned, we still require a test score, either ACT or SAT, in order to evaluate you at Florida Gulf Coast University. And that's a Florida State University system decision. It's not an institutional decision on any of our behalf, but we still need test scores at this time. If you don't have test scores, again, just like they mentioned previously, still apply, get everything in that you can, and then we'll go from there, right? That's the best way to at least be in before any priority deadlines, which for us, early action deadline is November 1st, which is coming up. So if I could urge you to do anything, I would say it's to submit your application, at least get the ball rolling so that we can correspond with you as we need to, right? Regular decision is thereafter, goes through March 1st. But if you apply and you're complete by November 1st, you're going to hear back from us in the month of December. And then lastly here, just some admission averages: 3.87 weighted GPA, 1141 SAT, 23.4 ACT. And again, these are averages, so we admit both above and below these. But this is a little bit about FGCU and the admissions process. Again, you guys, in closing, if I could say anything about the university, it would just be that I do think that we are truly an innovative university. We've only been open since 1997. To already have some state-ranked and nationally recognized programs is something that we're very proud of. You oftentimes hear, our slogan is the FGCU effect, which is inspiring those who inspire others. And, it's a testament to the fact that we not only believe in our students, but we believe in our students' ability to create that impact out in their own world. And, I think that FGCU, I make the analogy all the time, but if FGCU were a stock in the stock market, right now it is a buy. We were on this upward trajectory. And I think that the value of your degree here at Florida Gulf Coast University is going to continue to climb as our alumni base grows, as our community grows, as we continue to get our students out into the world and employed and impacting others. So again, thank you for the time. And I guess, I will make sure that I add my email here in the chat as well. And again, I am your admissions counselor. Please feel free to utilize me. So thank you again.
Great. Thank you, Alex. I really appreciate you and everybody else for being on. So we will open it up. So much information to Q&A time. And I do see some questions kind of coming in. So if Chelsea and Aaron want to come back, we'll just hang out here. And just a reminder, the College Virtual Connections will continue having our guest speakers and stuff coming up. We have FAFSA, scholarships, the 2+2 programs, with FSW, and talking about some other programs if you're looking at maybe getting an AA degree, what that looks like. So those are some upcoming webinars. So let's kind of get into some questions. One of the questions, I think Mary had a good question that I think is kind of all of our mind, and Alex, you kind of alluded to it. Some kids are waiting on test scores. Maybe they didn't test very well in September and October because we're just getting back in the groove of things. Is it better to apply and then submit scores, or is it better to kind of wait, get a score, and then apply? What is your take? Maybe let's go with Chelsea first. And what would be your suggestion for something like that?
So it really depends on where a student's test score kind of falls, because with our admissions profile, that is our middle 50%. So just like Alex said, we admit 25% of students below and 25% of students above our student profiles. So it really does depend on where your GPA currently falls and where your test scores fall. Typically, I would not encourage a student, if they have below an 1,000 SAT or below a 19 on the ACT, I would not recommend them submitting that test score at that time. I would still encourage them to complete the application and complete their grades, but to definitely wait until they have an improved test score, because I would never want to have a student experience a deferral or possibly a denied decision based off of the test score that they were not confident about. It's definitely a confidence killer. So I would encourage a student to hold off on submitting the test score, but still submitting everything else until they are able to safely test again.
Okay. Alex, Aaron, do you want to add anything to that? Oh, you're on mute, Aaron.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, I would just add kind of different though. Submit the test, like well, sorry, I'm kind of all scattered, but as far as transcripts, definitely submit those as soon as you can. That definitely takes the longest with the admissions process from our processing team. So if we at least have your transcripts, then that's like the quickest part. And then for test scores, it's nice to see that at least you have them. If you do have them, you can retest. We do super score, and as soon as you submit those new scores, if you have another opportunity to take the test, we'll reconsider your application once we get those. So if you can retest, that's then submit those. But if we do recommend submitting those test scores beforehand, and then we are looking to make some adjustments to the test requirement without making a test optional that the Board of Governors decides, but that hasn't been decided yet. So as long as we have your email, we can let you know what the updates are for that.
Alex, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, just real briefly. I mean, similar to what these folks have mentioned, but I would say, you know, this year, especially more than any, if you have a test score, I would recommend submitting it. If you are, I mean, Chelsea mentioned it can be discouraging if you're denied or if you're deferred, but at the same time, especially with us, you can be reconsidered if you're able to improve those. I think it's better off that you know where you stand earlier. It just gives you time. You know, it's important that you understand the expectations of admissions. You know, it is a competitive environment, but if you submit what you have now, I think it's best to have a score on file because there's a lot of students that don't have scores, and we just don't know what things are going to look like this year in terms of the competitive applicant pool. So, you know, I would say on behalf of FGCU, submit everything that you have currently. If you plan to improve test scores, that's totally fine. Even if you're denied or you're deferred, you still have the opportunity to be reconsidered throughout the year. So, you know, there's absolutely an appeals process and things like that. But on the chance that you are admitted and you hear back from us in December in that early action pool, I think that's a great opportunity to get that admission early in the year.
Great, thank you guys. A lot of good questions. So one thing all of three of you sort of touched on are like honors programs and also kind of special scholarships. So I know like FAU, you have a whole separate campus and you're talking about the Wilkes Honors and what's going on. So how are other things, you know, I was telling you earlier, I have a lot of dual enrollment collegiate students who got on this call. I see a bunch of FSWC kids are chiming in here. So for students that do want to take on that more rigorous courses, like in honors courses or other programs, any other suggestions on what to look for or how a university can kind of raise that level even up a little bit more with some of those classes? You want to go, Chelsea? Oh, you're on speak. Hold on. You got to unmute yourself.
Am I on?
Yeah, you got it.
Okay. So yeah, for me, for FAU, of course, if you are taking dual enrollment, if you graduate with an AA, we accept it. Absolutely. It actually looks really good it looks good for you because it shows like you are prepared and ready to handle the courses. Sorry, I got distracted by seeing Alex's dog. So we absolutely do encourage you to taking honors in AP. Of course, if you know that it starts to get overwhelming, definitely take yourself out of that situation rather than continue on a path of not doing well. But yes, we definitely encourage it if you are attempting dual enrollment, if you are attempting honors in AP. It just looks very well, especially if you are a student that is looking into our more STEM-based programs, because those again look at the rigor, and we can see you're already in college courses or attempting college level courses, so it really looks as a benefit to you. Plus it also allows for you by the time that you get to FAU to really focus on the courses of major. Sorry if you hear water in the background, it's pouring here in Fort Lauderdale. But it does help prepare you for that next level, and especially if you're a student that is looking to get more experiential learning, getting your general education courses out of the way in high school allows for you to really focus on the experiential learning that FAU has to offer with our 4,000 internships and just other different opportunities in the South Florida community.
Awesome. Erin or Alex, you want to add to that? And I think you both kind of touched upon that recalculated GPA, right? I think, Aaron, you're really specifically talked about giving those extra points for those AP and the honors, and FGCU, you sort of do a recalculation as well. And that's sort of what the SAR does. When the kids enter their SAR, you're recalculating their GPA. So definitely making sure. I think hopefully that. So yeah, one question Beatrice asked about the ACE credits. And I'll just kind of allude to that. So Florida is state statute driven in terms of how your ACE credit transfers, how your IB credits, how your AP, how your dual enrollment. It's all written out. Like if you take this ACE class, this is your college credit if you pass that exam. So, and I know, like, for example, Alex, like if you have a lot of, here in Southwest Florida, we have ACE, we have IB, we got dual enrollment, collegiate. So when kids come in with credits, and I'll ask Alex this, I know they come over, but what would be that process, and how might FGCU, for example, help a student figure out those credit transfers?
Absolutely. We, in terms of a collegiate high school student, I mean, I will just say, working locally, especially with things like our institutions like FSW, we work so closely with you guys that we have that seamless transition. We also have that destination FGCU program for students who are not dual enrolled, but are actually transferring from FGCU, or excuse me, from FSW to FGCU. So there are lots of opportunities for transfer there. And we do have, after 30 credits, we no longer evaluate high school test scores, and as well as high school GPA, because once you are a transfer student, you can't change your high school GPA. We can only work on our college GPA at that point. So it kind of gives you the opportunity to wipe the slate clean. But again, great relationship with FSW. That the credits transfer relatively easily because we're both state university or state college system school. And FGCU actually has a transfer admissions page where you can click on our little transfer tool. You can type in all your classes, see what transfers over to our curriculum. But as a general rule of thumb, I would say anything that's kind of general in nature is going to tend to transfer from other Florida state colleges.
Excellent. I think that answered. I think you two, FAU and UNF, would be the same case. Those credits will be evaluated and transferred. So one of the questions Teresa had written to me about if you do a summer term, you all sort of mentioned, and maybe I'll go to Aaron on this question, about the summer term admissions is a little bit different than a fall term admissions. So the question is, with kind of the uncertainty, what is it best for kids to choose, summer or fall? What happens if things change? Any kind of suggestions on picking a term and what that means for a student?
So for, I think someone mentioned that if they apply for the fall term and then maybe don't meet those academic profile ranges, they're automatically deferred for the summer terms. And I think what's very beneficial about the summer term is that with those classes, they're short. It's a shorter term, so it's not the full 12 weeks. And then also you're taking one or two classes, sometimes 3 if you really want to. So you get a little bit more time to adjust to that college life and taking on those additional classes. And those college courses are a little different than high school classes. I learned that the hard way in Florida, and I think the summer is definitely beneficial and then it's really easy to meet new people. There's less students on campus in the summer. So if you're nervous about that, or learning the campus itself, you have a lot of time to walk around. You only have a couple classes. So I think summer is great. A lot of students don't love to hear summer, but I think it's a really good option for students if they're interested in it.
Exactly. Alex?
Yeah, I would say it's entirely student preference. Our summer term, I wouldn't say is any easier to get in than our fall or spring. We're pretty standard across the board with the admissions criteria, but I would just say it's student preference. I mean, there's students that are built for summer. They come in, they do a few credits, they are able to kind of take it a little bit easier throughout the fall and spring. And then there's students that hit it hard during those other 2 semesters and then kind of take things off, during the summer. So it's entirely up to you and your preference and what works best.
Right. I would say the same for FAU. into the summer term. You guys saw my slide that that's our average profile. There's yes, it is slightly easier to be admitted into the summer. I would say I wouldn't recommend it for any of the collegiate students that are going to be coming in with their AA degree, just because since they are coming in with the majority of their general education courses done already, we would encourage them to apply for fall just because there's more options. But yeah, it's definitely up to student preference. And again, because our admissions is term specific, we encourage students to always apply for the term that they want to be admitted for, but we automatically consider students for all the terms and pathway programs that we offer.
Excellent. Well, I'm going to ask one more question, and I know all of you did put your email. So, and the nice thing about all three of you are representatives for our area. So if you do have questions, you're usually the great point of contact. So the last question really is about scholarships, right? So you talked a little bit about merit, you talked a little bit about presidential scholarships and things like that. Are there any other scholarships or ways that, FAFSA and things like that, that a student can really access kind of that free money for college? We have Bright Futures, but can you think of anything else that how a student might apply or how that might look for a student looking for some money? Alex, you want to go first?
Sure. I mean, I just have our scholarships pulled up here, but I mean, we have institutional scholarships, which is our FGCU foundation. It's essentially donors contribute to a foundation that our financial aid department distributes amongst our students. The caveat to that is you must have first applied to FGCU in order to be eligible for those things and then apply for them. So submit your application early. Again, November 1 is our early action deadline. We have those merit scholarships that we talked about, which is stackable with these other scholarships. So Bright Futures, Merit Award, Foundation Scholarship, etc. That's essentially 3.5 weighted GPA or higher with either a 1220 SAT or a 25 on the ACT. And of course, we have a tier above that as well. That's $3,000 to $5,000 per year, you guys, reoccurring for 4 years. And when our tuition and fees is just over $6,000, that's a huge portion of your tuition. And then lastly, I would say, yes, we have the collegiate high school scholarship. That's worth $5,000 a year. We also have an in-state tuition waiver for students who are part of, AVID, CROP, Take Stock in Children, PSEP, TRIO, etc. That waives 12 credit hours per semester, which is 80% of your tuition. And again, you guys, these things are stackable. I'm sure these other colleges and universities have something similar, but I have students all the time that I speak with who their scholarship money exceeds their tuition and fees or their bills, and they get paid to come to FGCU. They get a reimbursement check for the difference. To get paid to go to a Division I state university, it's an incredible opportunity. So again, apply, for everything that's available.
Great. Erin, do you want to add anything to that? You're nodding in agreement. I know it's so reasonable.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. Definitely just apply for the scholarships. I mean, we also stack scholarships. So there are a bunch on the UNF website that you can apply for. We do take outside scholarships. I'm sure most colleges do. There's a lot of websites with just random scholarships for very easy things. So if you can get that, we also encourage everyone to fill out the FAFSA. I mean, it's a free application. You might as well do it. And then also, I would really encourage you to keep in contact with your contact. So your admissions coordinator for the county. So us on screen, keep in contact with us, because I know if I know a student and they reach out to me and they need a little bit more money, I can advocate for that student to our financial aid office and say, like, they need a little extra, like, what do we have left? What are our other options for money and grants? So keep in contact with your counselor and your admissions counselor and things like that.
Chelsea, last word.
I'm basically just going to echo what my best buddy Alex, best friend on the road. We've been doing this both for 4 years. So yeah, basically at FAU, it's basically the same exact way. Our merit-based scholarships, like I said, our deadline is December 1st to be considered for those. Those you do not have to complete a separate application for. Your FAU application, whether it's directly on our website or through the Common App, is your application. Scholarship awards depend upon the applicant pool of every year. So last year, I can definitely say last year was a very competitive year for students with scholarships. A majority of that is determined by our Office of Financial Aid. But the merit-based scholarships that we award are through our office. We do have institutional scholarships, very similar to FGCU as well, where our institutional scholarships are through donors, and they can be based on if you're a business major, if you are a science major, a nursing major, you come from a certain cultural background, you do have to be admitted into the university in order to be considered scholarships. They do have a separate application that is listed on our financial aid website. There's about 20 or 30 that students can scroll through. And a lot of times students can often apply for those scholarships every year if they don't earn that scholarship the year prior. Yes, our scholarships are stackable, so they can receive a scholarship through the Office of Undergraduate Admissions as well as through the Office of Financial Aid, get Bright Futures if they have Florida prepaid, outside scholarships from the Lee, Charlotte, Collier area, things like that. So stack up. You have a lot of options to get free money. We are also on Raise.me. So that's a third-party platform. So it's free. It's like Instagram or Twitter. You can follow various different institutions and earn money. So I definitely encourage you to get on that platform and some money. You can backdate it all the way to your freshman year.
Awesome. I love Raise.me, and I wish more colleges could use it. And especially if you're underclassmen, to start seeing like, am I earning scholarships? Am I on track? It's a nice touch point for a lot of kids. So if you don't know about it, get on Raise.me. It's a good way to earn some micro scholarships. So I want to be cognizant of your time. You've already gone 7 minutes over. Thank you all for honestly being here tonight. It really meant a lot to me and to the rest of all the people that watch these webinars. And we really do thank you. And I need some swag here. FAU, UNF. I don't have a flag. I got FGCU down there. They're down there. But if you guys have a pennant, I need to put one up on my wall. So we need to add something.
We'll send it.
Awesome. Hook me up. But again, thank you guys so much. So many great questions. I know a lot of you have questions still. Some are still coming in. So definitely contact Aaron, Alex, and Chelsea, as they really are your experts in their programs and what they do. So once again, thank you, everybody, and have a great night. Really appreciate all your time and effort this evening. Everybody take care.
Bye.